We've got some breaking news for you right now. Of course, it had to happen after I post my Chelsea weekly transfer update video. Yeah, it's an extremely long title. If you missed that video, it's going to be in the top right corner. But apparently we're now extremely close, maybe even agreed behind closed doors, to find and sign our first signing under the new manager, who, by the way, has yet to be officially announced. Of course, Enzo Maresca. And the first signing, I'm talking here about a centre back coming from Fulham. That's Tosin, if I can pronounce his last name correctly, Adarabioyo. Anyways, Tosin. We'll just call him Tosin, just like we called Azpilicueta Dave. But beforehand, we have to talk about the probable defender that he's going to replace at Chelsea, right? Which is unfortunate, which is Trevor Chalobah. And so according to the Mirror, Chalobah is well liked at Chelsea and has a contract that runs for 4 more years, but with United among those showing interest, he is more likely to leave than stay. He would also like to stay in England, but in my opinion, I mean, it's an absolute joke if we sell him for £25 million. He has 4 more years at Chelsea. I mean, if he had 1 year, then I can maybe understand asking for just 25 million, fine. But 4 more years? You want to sell him to Manchester United for 25 million? Just doesn't sit right with me. Then we've got Jacob Steinberg here saying Chelsea are closing in on signing of Fulham defender Tosin Adarabioyo on a free transfer. First signing for Maresca, Chelsea set to beat Newcastle to the centre back as per Fabrizio Romano. Which of course, you can see Fabrizio's post right here. Newcastle have been working on Tosin deal for weeks, but Chelsea now clear favourites. Cautious until it's sealed. That's of course with everything that we're talking here on the channel or on social media, right? Unless it's officially announced or unless Fabrizio launches a here we go tweet, it's all rumors and probably 90+% done. You wait until it's 100% done. But talking about Tosin here, he's free, which is already a good thing for us. He's a big center back. He's a big guy, which is exactly what we need because we've been conceding silly goals from set pieces for way too long. And, of course, defensively that's great, but offensively that's great as well. A big center back, strong, tall center back could help us score some easy goals as well through set pieces. Now, let's compare. Let's compare Tosin to Chalobah and also Tosin to Axel Disasi. So this is the first comparison here. I mean, yes, of course, he did play more minutes than Trevor Chalobah last season. Trevor was injured quite a lot. But, I mean, it's pretty clear where Adarabioyo is dominating, right? Aerial, carrying, progressive passes, dominating Chalobah. Whereas Chalobah, and by the way, these are percentiles, Chalobah is dominating in duels, is a bit better when it comes to defensive actions, and a bit better with forward passes, percentage-wise. But overall, in my opinion, it makes sense to sign him on a free, right? I don't know what his wages will be, but the fact that we're signing on a free and he probably fixes one of our big issues because Thiago Silva is also leaving. First of all, he has experience in the Premier League. Second of all, he's already 26 years old, so it's not an 18-year-old center back that we're taking and YOLO, let's see if he can figure it out. No, I think he's already experienced, settled in the Premier League as well. He's free, he's tall, he's strong, so I think you cannot go wrong with that. The only issue here I have is that we're then stuck with Disasi, Fofana, and Trevor Chalobah. Of course, you get then left-footed players. You got Badiashile and Colwill. But did we really need to sign all of those center backs? In my opinion, no. Because if we look at the comparison, Disasi to Adarabioyo, pretty similar, right? Pretty similar. Disasi is a bit better when it comes to passes. Better when it comes to forward passes as a percentage as well. Progressive carries, basically the same. Aerial, Tosin is better. Progressive passer, Tosin is a little bit better as well. And the same for defensive actions and defensive duels as a percentage. But you can clearly see that the profile is quite similar. Now, like I said, fortunately, he's free, so at least there's that. But then we will have to deal with the players that weren't free and are still earning some nice wages at the club. Why are we paying them so much if they're not going to play? Just doesn't make sense to me. Also, he seems to be quite a big fan of Chelsea, or maybe football in general, but if you do a quick search on X, I mean, he's a pretty good fan of Eden Hazard, as you can clearly see. And then back in 2012, 2014, he was watching UEFA Super Cup, Chelsea versus Atletico Madrid, was buzzing for his boy Kyle Scott signing his first professional contract at Chelsea. He was also happy for Solanke making his first debut for Chelsea in the Champions League. So, already a blue through and through. Moving on to a quick update here on Osimhen. Again, I think we're going to see Fabrizio milk this story each and every week. But more on Chelsea and Osimhen, the swap deal with Romelu Lukaku was never really considered by Chelsea, as their stance on Lukaku is clear: £38 million price tag, take it or leave it. Osimhen currently not on Chelsea's list of summer transfer window targets. Which of course leads me to the next one, something that we've talked about before, and that's Benjamin Sesko. So we've got a small update here as well. Situation with Benjamin Sesko remains open. Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United and PSG all still interested. Arsenal and Chelsea with the most concrete approaches to date, according to Ben Jacobs. Chelsea should just trigger the clause, that's what I'm saying. Sesko hasn't agreed to any club yet. Leipzig have also put a lucrative renewal on the table. Sesko has had Saudi approach as well, both Jeddah clubs, but no indication Sesko wants to move there. And I believe his release clause is now at £55 million, which is basically less than half of what Napoli are asking for Osimhen. Is Osimhen more than twice as good as Sesko? In my opinion, no. And we as a club right now, financially speaking, if we don't want to breach any of those things, we cannot afford to spend that much money on just Osimhen. I like the guy, I think he's a great striker, but I don't want to be effed over in the future because of that transfer, if that makes sense. Moving on to the next one is Michael Olise. I think this is also going to be an interesting saga for this summer. So one of the advantages that Chelsea has here, one is that it's a club in London, and two, his brother, Richard Olise, is in the academy of Chelsea and recently signed a new contract as well. So I think we have the high ground here, we have the upper hand when it comes to signing Michael Olise. According to some sources, if he leaves, it's either going to be United or Chelsea. And like I said, Chelsea being in London, he doesn't have to move that much. And second of all, family members at Chelsea. And oh, by the way, also the one and the only Joe Shields already has a small relationship with Olise. Then some small news that I would have to disregard because I think this account made it up. But Chelsea insiders believe they can make a surprise move for Alexander Isak at around £100 million. His wage demands are not that high, and they believe he is the perfect number 9 for the new project and manager via exactly the same account. So again, if you've seen that, I made a comment underneath that post as well. I think £100 million for him is way too much, but like I said in previous videos, I'm not the one managing the club, but I think this is a nothing burger. Moving on to the last piece here is Aston Villa have an interest in Chelsea midfielder Conor Gallagher. Reece James has even been seen as a potential target, but that would be unlikely for Chelsea. I think it would be actually impossible, even if it would help raise further cash. I think Reece James, there's no chance he leaves this summer. Conor Gallagher, hopefully if somebody buys him, it would have to be over 50 million. I don't think we should be even thinking about offers under 50 million when it comes to Conor Gallagher. Hopefully he stays, but if we really have to raise some cash, then I hope we cash in, but cash in quite good. Which takes me back to the Chalobah thing. If we really need to raise cash, why not ask more, right? Why sell him for 25 million? It just doesn't make much sense. But okay, let's wait and see what happens. But overall, I think we're going to see things move quite quickly, especially since the Euros are starting 2 weeks from now. I think a lot of players want to get things sorted before the tournament starts. Second of all, I think June as a whole, we need to figure out how many players are going out, how many players will come in, financial rules or whatever, Premier League rules as well, financially speaking. I think we're going to make some flash sales or loans or whatnot. So all of that will obviously be covered in the weekly transfer videos. This had to be an emergency one. And as always, if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, share your thoughts as well. And I see you all in the next one. Bye bye.